What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Sim the Goat 5, man. Back with another one, man. I know it's been a minute, man. Uh, got a lot going on, man. You know what I'm saying? We're near close to the 4th of July tomorrow, so I just thought I'd go ahead and drop another video, drop another live stream with you guys, and let you know what's been going on out here in these streets. You feel me? So let's get into it. Actually, we're gonna talk about the the event that's been going on within the last couple of weeks with this Julio Foolio demise. Rest in peace. Uh, my condolences with the families or whatever. So uh, we all know that this gang war between the Jacksonville gangs, you know what I'm saying, between Julio Foolio and Young and Ace and them. It's been a feud going on for a very long time. So I'm not surprised about what happened, you know what I'm saying, because the kind of game he played with this music and with the beef, you know what I'm saying, the back and forth, you know what I'm saying, with each other, stuff like that happens. So we got to take accountability to the point when it comes down to stuff like that. And these streets, these young nowadays, man, they don't even care. They gonna do what they gotta do regardless. I remember when I was coming up, you know, we had gangs and stuff like that, but you know what I'm saying, we more like, we get to fighting or something like that, a couple of hours that day, we back friends or something like that. But everything don't change. So, but anyway, you know, like, share, and subscribe, man, and comment to the channel, you know what I'm saying? And let's get into it.
Famous rapper Julio Foolio, who just turned 26, was shot dead early this morning.
Everybody coming out the spell. Try to put their song in the air, okay? They the time.
Oh, my bad. Hold on a second.
It's double lit, oh God, yeah.
Now, normally I talk about gang beefs within and around England. However, in this video, I'll be taking a deep dive into the ongoing tragic gang war within Jacksonville, Florida, which has claimed the lives of over a dozen people, with the war becoming deadly once again after the tragic death of Foolio, whose rap lyrics and words would come back to haunt him. Jacksonville is a large city within Florida, and is in fact the largest city by landmass within continental USA. The city is home to around 971,000 residents. However, what a lot of these residents are unaware of is the ongoing and dangerous gang war taking place within the streets of Jacksonville, with it becoming dangerous to be outside near the hoods that have become territory to each gang, with the gangs gaining mainstream success when rappers like Foolio and Young and Ace would start dropping violent diss songs towards each other, with these two rappers having been involved with a violent and deadly gang war within the streets that has spanned years, but has sadly resulted in dozens of deaths and other violent incidents within Jacksonville. Now, the gang war I'll be discussing is the KTA versus ATK, which has gained recognition as it has become very dangerous. ATK is a street gang based around West Jacksonville. The gang shares the same territory as another clique known as Youngin Gang. This set was repped by Youngin Ace and his boys around the mid-2010s. However, ATK has become more prominent in recent years, with the name ATK being an acronym for Ace's Top Killers, Aim to Kill, and simply Attack. Another clique that rolls with ATK is known as NHG, or No Hospital Gang, with these two gangs sharing the same membership and beef. The ATK gang has actually been around for years, with the older generation of gangsters going by DMT, or the Money Team, before changing their name to NHG. Prominent members of ATK include Young and Ace, Queso, Fast Money Goon, and YBZ, with the gang gaining loads of attention in 2021 after dropping the extremely disrespectful track Who I Smoke. The ATK gang has beef with A Block, PYC, and most importantly, 6 Block from North Jacksonville, with this being the main beef I'll be discussing. Now, the 6 Block clique is a group of gangs based around the Hilltop Apartments and Moncrief 45th, Northside Jacksonville. This area is actually known to be extremely dangerous. Originally, the 6-block gang was referred to as PCE, or Problem Child Ent, with a few older members from the area still repping the PCE gang. However, since then, the 6-block gang has become more prominent. 6-block actually shares some membership with A-block and 45th, with these gangs forming cliques and sharing the beef with ATK from West Jacksonville. It's also to note that in recent years, offshoot cliques and gangs have begun to emerge. An example of this would be WAWG within Northside Jacksonville, with prominent members of this set being La Kraka, K Shorty, and Zabo Stunna. The WAWG gang also shares the same beef as 6-block, but these offshoot cliques and gangs can actually get confusing. So for simplicity's sake, I'll talk about the main bodies between KTA and ATK, and I'll refer to both sides of the beef as KTA versus ATK. Now, in recent years, members of 6-block and nearby Y&R from Westside Jacksonville would link up and create an alliance, this being referred to as KTA, which is an acronym for Kill Them All. The KTA alliance includes the gangs 6-block, Y&R, and Vontaland, and is the gang associated with popular rapper Julio Foolio, whilst the ATK alliance includes the gangs NHG, YG, Rollo Way, and Backstreet, and is the gang associated with Young and Ace. However, you may be confused as to why these two street gangs, based on completely different sides of Jacksonville, have a deadly rival. Now, the beef between ATK and KTA would begin around 2017, when a member of ATK known as Trey Shorty would be allegedly robbed by a Y&R member known as Tony Cho. Following this robbery, Trey Shorty would seek retaliation and would get the drop on a PCE or KTA member's home. This member known as Zion or TJ, which is an acronym for Tweaking Jit, with Zion even being the cousin of popular rapper Foolio. Anyways, Trey Shorty would gain access to Zion's house and would begin to shoot at anyone in sight. Zion would be gunned down within the house, as well as his two little sisters who were 9 years old and 16 years old at the time. Sadly, Zion would be pronounced dead on the scene, and his two sisters would luckily make a recovery and would identify Trey Shorty as the shooter in court. Trey Shorty would be arrested following the murder and would be charged and found guilty for the triple shooting, with him later being given life in prison. It was also alleged that Young and Ace had something to do with the murder, however this isn't confirmed. Rest in peace, Zion. The death of Zion would affect KTA members, with it seriously affecting Foolio, who by this time would begin to drop songs in the streets, with him previously getting active around 2013 and 2014, with Foolio even being shot by rivals at 15 years old, as a case of mistaken identity following the murder of a rival member. The death of Zion would actually explode the beef into a war, with both gangs seeking retaliation for their fallen friends, which is crazy as some 6-block members and some ATK members actually used to chill with each other, with them often featuring in music videos before the beef would get heated. It would be during 2017 and the first few months of 2018 that members of KTA would be plotting to catch any ops from ATK, with them looking for any chance to kill, and it would be on the 5th of June 2018 that KTA members would find their retaliation, and Young and Ace would lose 3 friends in one night, and he would be shot 8 times. On the 5th of June 2018, 3 members of the Youngin gang, including 23, Quan, and 4, as well as Young and Ace would be celebrating the birthday of 23. Earlier on in the day, Young and Ace would be observed on Instagram Live with his 2 friends and brother, with the 4 ATK members documenting their day on Instagram. However, what they didn't know was members of KTA would be watching closely and would be looking for any chance to get their retaliation. It would be on the night of the 5th of June 2018. All 4 members, including 23, 4, and Quan, who was actually Young and Ace's blood brother, would be eating at a restaurant. After leaving the restaurant, the members would drive for a few minutes before coming to a red light. What they didn't know was that rival KTA members would be following closely behind. The KTA members would lean out of the car and would shoot multiple rounds into the car full of ATK members. Young and Ace would be hit 8 times, whilst 23, 4, and Quan would all be pronounced dead on the scene. Following the attack, Young and Ace would be rushed to hospital. He would luckily survive, however. He would have lost 2 of his closest friends and his brother in one night. To make things worse, Ace would be arrested in the hospital for breaching his probation, as he was seen posing with guns. The murders have gone unsolved till this day, with no one being arrested for the quadruple shooting. Following this violent attack, Foolio and other KTA members would be disrespecting the incident heavily on social media, with Foolio even taking to Instagram as he thought that Ace had died, before finding out that Ace survived the attack. Following Young and Ace's release from prison, he would also post on Instagram telling Foolio and KTA members that they would pay for the murders, with the beef becoming very deadly around this time, with it now being published on the internet. It appeared as if Ace wasn't lying, as only a month following the triple murder, 1,200 members would catch a KTA or 6-block member known as Trey D, who was a well-respected member of the gang. He would be shot dead by rival gang members at the Out East reunion on the 21st of July 2018. The alleged killers of Trey D were thought to be 1,200 members, which is a gang that has had beef with KTA gangs and is affiliated with ATK gangs. Now, the war within the streets would begin to...
Now, I'm gonna say this right here, man. These boys had a real street war going on. Like, for real, for real. Like, it don't get no worse than this right here. Like, they talked about what they really live. Like, you got a whole lot of rappers talk that, you know, that stuff in their lyrics and stuff like that, in their music and whatnot. Quote unquote, say for instance, like people like Industry Plant, Drake, one of them, the few, you know. Lyrics, I mean, you know, these boys really living that life. They really living that life. For real. Let's go.
to gain mainstream attention, with the young rappers on each side beginning to get successful within the music scene, with Young and Ace and Foolio gaining millions of views, with Ace even dropping a song titled Pain. This was in response to the quadruple shooting he had survived. Due to the fact that 1200 was also killing KTA members, it wouldn't come as a surprise that only a month after the death of Trey D, KTA members from 6 Block would get back and would kill a prominent member of 1200 known as Spaz on the 25th of August 2018. Spaz was actually close with Spinabenz and Wapa Wit Chapa. However, members of 6 Block would spot him at a Rains High School football game and would shoot him along with 2 other people, leaving Spaz dead on the scene whilst the other 2 people shot recovered.
So that this is going to be a triple shooting, 2 people injured, 1 person is deceased. Let me step out of the way here.
It's also alleged that a member of 6 Block known as Bibby was responsible for this murder. However, Bibby would sadly fall victim to the streets only months later, with a 6 Block member known as Kenny K being arrested and charged for the death of Spaz. Spaz is often dissed by members of 6 Block, with a video even emerging showing a member urinating on his grave and dissing him, with Foolio taking to social media and disrespecting him on Instagram. What Foolio didn't know, however, was that a few months later, he would lose one of his closest friends.
And gunfire erupts inside a Northwest Side apartment complex. It leaves this 16-year-old dead.
On the 25th of February 2019, Foolio's young boy Bibby would die. Bibby was also a part of 6 Block and was only 16. Bibby and Foolio were very close. Due to how close they were, Bibby would actually be at risk of rival members due to how hated Foolio became within the streets of Jacksonville. A week prior to the death of Bibby, a member associated with KTA known as K Shorty would tell Bibby to distance himself from Foolio, as rival gang ATK wanted to kill Foolio so bad they would kill any associates to him in order to affect Foolio mentally. However, Bibby would decide to stay associated with Foolio, and on the 25th of February 2019, Bibby would attend school, and on his way home at around 1 p.m., Bibby would go to Foolio's grandma's house. After this, Bibby would go to Hilltop. Foolio would attempt to stop Bibby from going, as police were supposedly all over the block. At around 2 p.m., Bibby was at Hilltop Village parking lot. ATK members would spot Bibby and would shoot him multiple times. With the attackers fleeing, Bibby would be pronounced dead moments later, with police and emergency services notifying friends and family, with one of these being Foolio, who would mourn the loss of Bibby. Following the death of Bibby, Foolio would drop a song titled Bibby's Story, which blew up and currently sits on around 9 million views. In this song, Foolio alludes to the fact that Bibby was 16 and already had a body, with him rapping, like Lord, he was 16 with a body on his belt. He was fighting all them demons, couldn't cope it by himself. After the death of Bibby, a member of ATK known as Queso would begin to post up on social media wearing shirts with the name Bibby in order to taunt Foolio and Bibby's family. Queso would also rap about the crime and would even use Bibby's face on an album cover. However, all of this self-snitching would later lead to the conviction of Queso, who would be found guilty of the murder of Bibby 2 years later. Following the death of Bibby, members of KTA would be mourning his loss. The KTA members would actually seek retaliation after the death of Bibby, and it would be under 3 weeks later that the KTA 6 Block members would spin back and kill a loved ATK member. On the 11th of March 2019, 2019, members of ATK including Queso, Scotty, and Rollo would be in Waycross, Georgia. Young and Ace was also present. The 4 members were staying at a hotel. What they didn't know, however, was that rival members got the drop on them. At around 3 a.m., masked attackers who were allegedly from the 6-block KTA gang would hop out of a vehicle. The attackers would shoot at Young and Ace, with it being thought that Ace was their original target. Queso and Scotty would begin to shoot back, with the attackers being warded off. However, the attackers would hit an ATK affiliate known as Rollo, who would be killed on the scene, with the other ATK members also sustaining gun wounds. However, they would luckily make a recovery. Queso actually raps about this incident in his popular song Been Dead, where he raps, "Shoulda killed me in Waycross. They hopped out with them K's. Me and Scotty bussing back, we was on the same page." Following the death of Rollo, many members involved with the beef would die. However, if I was to talk about everyone involved in the beef that died, this video would be a few hours long, but let me know if you would like an in-depth video. Anyways, in May 2019, ATK members would get back for the death of Rollo and would shoot and kill a KTA member known as Tiki, who was actually mentioned in the chorus of Young and Ace's viral song, Who I Smoke. It would be at the start of January 2020 that Queso would be lurking for any rival members and would end up shooting dead a member of KTA known as Buck, which Queso has now been arrested and charged for, with his dad even being implicated in the crime and being charged, with this being the second murder that Queso was responsible for. Queso also snitched on himself for the murder of Buck, with him posting on Instagram stating, "Kill a nick, get my toes done," whilst being pictured getting a pedicure. During 2020, the war would heaten up, with 2 members, one being 35, or Petey, who was shot dead by alleged 1,200 members on the 3rd of May, and the second being a retaliation hit for this murder, which was the death of TK, who was affiliated with the 6-block gang within KTA, who would sadly be killed by ATK members 11 days later. But it would be the next death involved in the beef that would seriously mark a war, this being the death of Lil 9, who was actually cousins with Queso, meaning that even family members were caught up beefing each other. It would be around June 2020 that a member of YNR within the KTA alliance would begin to go live on social medias like Instagram, this member being Lil 9. Lil 9 would frequently go live on Instagram, often taunting his ops, but he would even go live with Queso, who was his actual cousin, which is crazy as Lil 9 and Queso have a deadly beef. But it would be only days after Lil 9's last recorded Instagram live that Lil 9 would become victim to the streets. On the 8th of June 2020, Lil 9 would be sitting in a car with his friend who was driving the car. Another car would pull up next to them and would begin to unload around 12 shots into Lil 9's car. Lil 9 would be hit, with the driver attempting to drive away. However, he would drive into a tire shop, smashing through a window. The attackers would flee, and emergency services would be called. However, there wasn't much that could be done to save Lil 9, with him sadly dying on the scene. Queso would be one of the first people to hear that his cousin had died, and would be posting loads on Instagram laughing at the situation and disrespecting it.
I got a question for you. For the folks at home who don't know about campus yet, tell them how you describe campus to me.
Get out! Get out!
Joke, boy. Yes, sir.
With them even going as far as to recreate the dev Lil 9.
Y'all played. Y'all played. Y'all Y'all
Rest in peace, Lil 9. Lil 9 is often disrespected by ATK members, with the ATK members often mentioning his name within songs, with him also being in the disrespectful chorus of the popular song Who I Smoke. Following the death of Lil 9, Mookie from A Block would be shot dead by members of 1200 in August 2020. 6 Block would then get back in September 2020, shooting dead a member of 1200 known as Lou Leakey, who has mentioned loads within songs from Jacksonville rappers. In November 2020, a member closely aligned with KTA 6 Block known as Spaz 2 times would be shot dead by alleged KKG 1200 members, with the death of Spaz 2 times hitting the local Jacksonville rappers hard, with a member of KTA known as La Croca even rapping on a song featuring K Shorty titled Fuck the Ops, with him rapping, "Nick gonna die if they bring up Spaz. Got 100 round mags, boy, you won't get far." And it would appear La Croca wasn't lying, as during February 2021, 2 members of 1200 would die together, these being the deaths of Michi and Bevel, or B5, with the alleged killers being members from the 6 Block KTA gang. It would also be in 2021 that both KTA and ATK would begin to really shine within the underground drill scene, with Young and Ace and Fast Magoon gaining millions of views on the ATK side, whereas Foolio, La Croca, and K Shorty would be gaining millions of views on the KTA side of the beef. And it would be in March 2021, only a month after the deaths of Michi and B5, that ATK members would drop one of the most disrespectful drill tracks, this being titled Who I Smoke, with the rappers sampling Vanessa Carlton's 2002 hit song 1,000 Miles, with the chorus of the song song dissing 4 dead 6 Block KTA members, with the rappers rapping Who I Smoke, Bibby, Who I Smoke, Tiki, Who I Smoke, Lil 9, with each person named being followed by the ad-lib And I Miss You, which was from the original Vanessa Carlton song. Vanessa Carlton also received a lot of backlash for approving the sample of the song, with her taking to Twitter stating, "To the white folks that have been expressing anger and shock over my approval of 1,000 Miles usage in the Spinabenz, Wapawit da Choppa, Young and Ace and Fast Money Goon song Who I Smoke, I invite you to ask yourself why you feel this way." Foolio would see the attention that Who I Smoke gained, and a month later would return fire, with the seriously disrespectful song When I See You. In this song, Foolio would also sample a pop song, this being Fantasia. When I See You, Foolio would be depicted within the music video, dancing on graves, and even having a printed out picture alluding to the quadruple shooting resulting in Ace losing his 3 friends in 2018. However, what makes this song eerily creepy to listen to now is the bar Foolio would rap, with him rapping. Went out to eat on his birthday, 4 shot, 3 dead in the worst way. He kept dissing on me, now we are smoking 23. What no one was expecting was that Foolio would end up dead 3 years later, with him dying in the exact same way he had been dissing 23 for dying in. Following the releases of these rude songs, new eyes from all around the world would be watching the Jacksonville beef, with the songs released by these members gaining tens of millions of views, with the Who I Smoke song currently sitting on around 50 million views, and When I See You sitting on around 47 million views. Even though the music was popping for both gangs, this didn't change the fact that there was an active war within Jacksonville. Now, it would be a few months following the release of Who I Smoke and When I See You that a prominent member associated with KTA would find himself facing life, this being K Shorty, who on the 28th of September 2021 would spot a member of 187 Boys named No Face. K Shorty would then shoot him multiple times, killing him on the scene. No Face would actually be close with Spinabenz, who has also gained attention in the drill scene, dropping songs like I Don't Smoke Kendre and Dumb Ways to Die, both gaining millions of views. Now, the beef between KTA and ATK would quieten down around 2022 and 2023, with a lot of the members focusing on music and making money. However, only recently, the death of KTA's most prominent member would once again spark a war that will most likely result in multiple people dying.
Let me give you a piece of advice. We live in a very litigious society these days, and one of the
a Jacksonville rapper who made numerous headlines.
Tampa police are trying to track down whoever killed Jacksonville rapper Charles Jones.
There are still no arrests following the shooting death of a Jacksonville rapper known as Julio Foolio.
We came deep for my birthday, man. Everybody coming out
On the 23rd of June 2024, Foolio would be partying with friends in Tampa, Florida, as it was his birthday. During the night, Foolio was active on Instagram, posting updates and showing where he was at. Foolio would then update his followers during the early hours of the morning, showing him walking into an Airbnb with girls. He would also have dropped an address to a pool party. However, what he did not know was that members of ATK would be watching and waiting for any chance to get the drop on Foolio. Foolio would leave the party and would travel to a Holiday Inn where he was going to stay for the night. Whilst he was on the way to the hotel, members of ATK would be slowly following, and on arrival, the attackers would open fire, shooting all 4 members in the car, killing Foolio, which is crazy as this is the exact opposite of what happened to Young and Ace and his 3 friends years prior. Foolio's windshield would be shot up dozens of times, with Foolio being pronounced dead on the scene, which is crazy as he had dissed 23 for dying on his birthday. Since the death of Foolio, which was around a week ago, no one has been arrested, with a murder investigation being launched. Young and Ace would drop a song only hours after the death of Foolio, this being titled Do It. This song gained loads of attention and currently sits on 5 million views and is number 5 on trending YouTube music. Ace wouldn't stop there and would go to the studio making another song which just released, this being titled Game Over, which as of now has amassed around 1.5 million views in only 13 hours, which just shows how much attention the gang war has right now. Young Ace would drop the preview to Game Over on his Instagram, with the Foolio account even commenting, calling it trash, with this prompting hilarious responses like Granny's voodoo is working, the fuck, and also references to him being rebooted. The Game Over song would drop at 6 p.m. with this being a sly diss towards Foolio, as Foolio was a part of the 6 Block gang and often repped 6. In the Game Over song, Ace raps, 5 in the morning, I got a call, what is this? Dead on the floor, dead on arrival, Mr. 6. This just being one of many bars within this song where Ace disses Foolio. He also raps, 4 in the car and one of them dead, 3 got hit. Another thing Ace would rap would be, tell the ops come outside and slide for 6. And it would appear that members of KTA KTA would be sliding, as only days after the death of Foolio, a member of 1200 known as Fizzle, would be shot dead at an intersection within Jacksonville. Fizzle was actually Leakey's blood brother, meaning that both brothers had become victim to this ongoing war. Fizzle was also a dad of 3 and was closely aligned with 1200. Following the death of Fizzle, members of the KTA alliance would be quick to start posting. Fedi Osama from A Block would post a picture of Foolio on Instagram following the shooting, and La Croca would also take to Instagram, posting this:
Great win today, fellas. Took care of business. That's what we needed. Enjoy your next 2 days with your loved ones, everyone. But don't get too comfortable because we still got a lot of work to do.
The loss of Foolio is a big loss to rap and the KTA alliance, with KTA members mourning his loss and preparing for a war within the streets. If you have learned anything from this video, make sure it's to stay away from the streets, as this life never leads to anything good, either jail or death. A prime example of this is Foolio, who had millions of dollars and millions of streams, but due to his gang ties, he was killed in the exact same way his op was killed. Rest in peace, everyone in this video. If you enjoyed, subscribe and like.
Now, that's a lot, man. You know, like I said, rest in peace to all the ones that lost their lives, man. That's real live action that was going on, and that is still going on. It's ongoing, you know, every day. That's it, pretty much everyday life, you know. Because at the end of the day, man, it's not going to stop until, you know, everybody want to do a peace treaty and all that, but they're just life now. So you just got to protect yourself and protect your loved ones and, you know, stay out the way. That's basically what you got to do. Everything don't change from the music that we listen to, the lyrics and everything. It's like, it's not the same anymore, man. Like, for real, like we're living in real time, real time, you know. It's different than when I was coming up. Like, for real. Yeah, man, that's really a lot. Like, that's a real street war, man. That been going on for years, you know. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. See them to go 5. Oh yeah, and don't forget, you know what I'm saying? Go check out my book, man. You know, it's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You know, if you want me to send you a copy, DM me. I can go and get your information. I can send one to your front door. You feel me? You know. What else I want to say? Yeah, man. We got the 4th of July weekend coming up, you know. Hope everybody have a prosperous holiday and everything. You know, enjoy your family and all that. You know, we're going to be posting some more videos soon, pretty much. I'm going to get back into it. I know I've probably been slacking off for about a week or 2. I just had to handle some business, you know what I'm saying? Standing on business, man. You feel me? You know. But yeah, man. We got to put them guns down, bro. We got to put them down. But who am I to say that? You know, I mean, it's going to take a whole army to get together. You know what I'm saying? Actually, they're going to have to go and pretty much, you know, that shit started at the White House. So who am I to say put the gun down? But at the end of the day, you know, we got to protect ourselves. Everybody got to protect them. They got to protect their families, you know. I mean, that's just the way of life. That's just the way it is, you know. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, man, I'll probably be back with another one on maybe Friday. Some new content, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who came in, you know what I'm saying, today and checked out the live stream or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it's your boy, CM the Goat 5, man. Back with another one, man. And see you on the next one. We out. Deuces!